Roger wasn't the defending champion that year, though. You know why?
Because number one happened. 2008. Number one on your list is the reason why Roger wasn't the defending champion.
I'm not going to confirm it until I give you these options.
Okay. Go ahead. Waste everyone's time. Go for it.
I will say this. So this got 50% of the votes is the one. We had it on a list where people could just click on it. And then the next time we put the poll out, we didn't put it on the list because it got so many votes and everyone wrote it in.
Yeah.
That's no brainer. Rain delays, twilight finish, end of a 5-year reign on grass. It didn't just live up to the hype. It became the standard. Nadal, Federer, Wimbledon Final, 2008. Nadal beats Federer 9-7 in the fifth, finishing in near darkness after nearly 5 hours on court.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was significant for so many reasons. I think we were pre-programmed in what a rivalry should look like. Like a lot of the matches that we've talked about, Mac Borg, Chrissy Martina, there's a Rafa Novak. Like, what are the similarities? It's like the personality is, they're very different. The lefty-righty thing in the history of tennis has been a big deal. And so I think we're falling into that. The other thing that it did, and I think why it was so significant, is at that point, we knew that Rafa was going to win 10 plus majors because of the French Open, right? But to beat Roger in that venue, in his prime, on his surface, I think from the locker room automatically catapulted him into one of the greats of all time.
Did you watch the match?
I watched the end. I made a habit of not planning my day around tournaments that I was no longer in. I was more bored by it than tennis fandom at that time. I've since watched it fully, and it's like, it's insane.
It's just, like that match helped pay my, I wrote a book about this. We did a documentary.
Yeah.
I have no objectivity here, but Rafa had lost to Roger the previous 2 years in the Wimbledon final. He'd gotten closer. He's up 2-0, and then Roger storms back. The crowd comes to life. I mean, imagine what it would have done to Nadal, who also tuned Roger at the Roland Garros final 4 weeks earlier.
3-0.
So you beat the guy the previous major.
3-0-1?
Yeah, I mean, it was barely a match, and it was on clay, and then you go to grass, and Rafa wins the first 2 sets, and it's, we've got a new king. And then Roger storms back. Imagine what would have happened if Rafa had not won that match and let it slip through his fingers. This was the very last match at Wimbledon before the lights and the roof. So if this had a slightest more rain delay, or if we hadn't had that late break, everybody would have had to come back on Monday. I mean, this was the last game they possibly could. You see there, and this is back when phone flashlights were not obnoxious. I mean, this was a source of light. And if this had gone one more game, they would have had to call it, and it would have been such a bummer. Everyone would have had to come back the next day. And then one thing I love about this match is they've had this absolute battle, classic match. They both recognize it. Rafa drops, falls flat on his back. They shake hands at the net. And when Rafa eventually makes his way to his team, one of the first people that touches him, congratulates him, lifts him up, is Roger's dad. And I always say, like, when my kids played Little League, like the Sharks and the Blue Jays would never be on the same side of the backstop. The parents wouldn't even talk to each other. This was a Wimbledon final, and one of the very first people you have contact with is the father of the guy you've just beaten in this seminal match. Just a great sporting event. And I think the other thing, I mean, I don't want to dwell on 2009, but I think it's also nice. Roger won the U.S. Open after that. So it was this incredible, extraordinary match, but it also wasn't this fatal blow that Roger won the very next major. So the fact that both of them continued on, I think in a way sort of added this, because it wasn't, I mean, at the time people were like, oh, Roger's done. Rafa's got his number. He's never going to recover from this. And then Roger goes and wins the very next major. So I heartily agree with that choice.
Yeah, it was strange too, because Roger had to wait a year to win again.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.